Daria, it's a fun day today to be able to. We've been interviewing all day the authors for the Imaginist, Fairytales, Fables, and Folklore. And here we are with you. Your book is not a fairy tale. So, or your chapter rather. So tell us about what this chapter is about.
This chapter is about my evolution, if you will, from having lived a life that was in addiction and kind of rising out of that by means of incarceration and then my release and taking that opportunity to change my life. So, um, through a slew of events, I ended up on the whole other side of the spectrum and just achieved my master's in addiction counseling. And I work at a women's recovery center, and I counsel the very women that I used to be in many respects.
Yeah, you counsel the women that you were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So definitely was not a fairy tale getting there, and my chapter's a little bit about the people that I encountered along the way that made pretty big impacts on my confidence and on my leadership skills and on my love for humanity and just kind of the message to the readers that change is possible and not to read a book by its cover.
No, that's right, because all of us, there's not one of us can get through life on this earth without having something that shakes us to the core, and we have to do something about it. Some more drastic than others, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, but still, um, what I find with because I work with a lot of authors that tell their stories, and I find that that the majority of people that are serving in the world today in whatever profession they are, typically it's because of their life, those hard times that that that's their work. That's what brought them to the work that they're meant to do. And
Yes.
with along with that comes the empathy and the understanding and the ability to impact the lives of those that perhaps are going through the same or similar.
Yes. Giving back what was taken, right?
Right, right. How beautiful.
Impeccable.
So, did you write this chapter since I haven't had a chance to even look at it yet? Did you write this with a kind of a avatar in mind, in the fairy tale kind of way, or how did you structure this?
Let's see. Well, um, a lot of events happened between the starting to write this. My mom kind of initiated this idea, and during the time that she's like, oh, that we're going to do this and this is the due date, a dear friend Tom Brown of ours passed, and he was, I was his I was put in charge of I was given the honor of, kind of helping him through to his end of life. So it put a twist on, and I was hoping to get his help because he's just a master with words. And so I started this off, and I finished just a small portion of it with the idea of like presenting a story from a third person and talking about a love affair and how I was full, this person, this human, I use the word human, and then the artificial love or artificial lover, and and um, and kind of twisted the story about the love affair, and then kind of ultimately the deceitfulness of about not understanding all of the other lovers that had taken it on and all of the lives it had destroyed, and then kind of just flowing it into the consequence of going to prison, and then picking up from just a first person tale of the remainder of the story.
Beautiful.
It kind of started off with the request of the fairy tale type of thing, with trying to allude to a different person than myself. But then kind of pulling it back in and having it be about the author itself.
Beautiful. Took a lot of courage to share your story, because not many of us want to share stories that, where there's been the, where we're raw and vulnerable and have to share. But I think sometimes in the sharing of the story, there's such an incredible strength that comes from it. And it also impacts many other lives in many ways.
Yeah, that's why I love what I do, because I'm very transparent with my clients. And so there's an appreciation from my clients about my transparency of where I've been and where I've come, that my understanding of their struggle with substance use and life in general and coping and all that good stuff. So it does come pretty easily, but this feels even more different because it's being given to people who hopefully are the receivers. In my message in the chapters, that I hope that family members also can practice the same empathy and compassion with their loved ones who might be going through addiction issues.
Very beautiful. So when you sat down to take and put pen to paper to write this, and I know your mom has been guiding you along the way with this, but you still had to put pen to paper to really convey your thoughts in this. How did it transform you, or did it?
Well, it's interesting because I think I had gotten through a good portion of the fairy tale portion before Tom died. And what I found was I ran into kind of a wall of motivation, because I'd have this vision of working with him with the fine tuning and making it even more mystical, if you will. And then a feeling of accomplishment, because I was about to kind of be like, I'm not gonna be able to get this done, and being given a little leniency on a couple of days to get it together, and then being able to complete it and having that sense of accomplishment, and relief, because it is, like you said, it is an honor to. It's difficult to share your story in certain spaces, so it's exciting to have a different venue to be able to share it than just with my clients.
Awesome. Yes, I will have far reach, and I think I kind of feel like there's not too many families that don't have something like that in their family, and sometimes hearing it from a different perspective makes a big difference.
Yeah, and hopefully give people hope.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my hat's off to you for thank you for having the courage to be a part of this and share your story, and even more importantly, for the work you do in the world.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So we'll celebrate. There'll be a lot of stuff coming up with the launch of this book, and so we'll today feels like a celebration because we're gathering up all these video interviews and bringing them, getting them ready for the book, and really appreciate all the wisdom that you shared with us.
No, well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I'm sure we'll meet in person, probably at the book signing event.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, have the amazing rest of your day.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.